one of the episodes in our channel, we captioned that episode Anglophones and Cameroon's national football team, the Indomitable Lions. By oversight, we omitted an attacker who has been 2 times Player of the Year in Cameroon, Marcus Mokake. Marcus played for the national team, as a profile of him will put the facts on the table. Similarly, Sam Chair, an admirable attacker who featured with the Lions in 1999 against Mozambique in a 6-1 victory, was omitted. In today's episode, however, we present Marcus Mokake, his life from grassroots football to when he won the Best Player award in Elite Division 1 team Fovo of Baham.
I was in GHS Tico. By then, I just left CKC because I wanted to go to secondary, to grammar school, because CKC was commercial. That's how I went to GHS Tico, and I was in the school team, and that's how I was selected among during school games, because we had many games we played where we play against Ombe. I think that is where executive of Tico United were in the field, and that's how I finally find myself with Tico United, of which my former principal also, Ponje Myoto, was one of the executives by then in Tico United. That also made things very easy for me to go to Tico United.
Those days they were signing players for some, even though the money was not big, they were signing players. How much did Tico sign you?
For me, it was just a pleasure for playing with Tico United. I remember the first year I did not sign anything. I just wanted to play. They promised to buy me boots and something like that. It's the second year that I signed. I think it's 25,000 if I did not make mistake. And it is one supporter, one executive that decided to offer me that signing premium. So I can say my signing premium for the second year of Tico United was 25,000. The first year was just a pair of boots.
Yes, you played with Tico United,
yeah,
and your records are there. But as you progressed, we soon heard that you had gone to Fovo of Baham. How did this whole story of Fovo Baham begin? You were Tico United and you left for Fovo Baham. How did you go there?
Yeah, I can say it was one manager who was used to Southwest. I know the guy usually comes and watch our games in Tico, and he's a guy, they call him Eyu. He's a guy who was just like a spy. He was just like I don't know, a scout.
A football scout agent, yes.
A football scout. He used to take good footballers from Southwest to the French region. I've been watching my games, but I never knew until our semi-final game. That is when he came openly to me and told me we want to take me to a French club that was in Western Province. And I told him which club. By then I never knew Sean. I don't know anything much about football. I don't know much about First Division and so on. So he promised he would take me there. And that's how we had 2 appointments, and we went to Douala to meet the president of Fovo of Baham. That's how everything started. By then I was still in Tico United.
Is that when you people were playing some Interpol to Victoria United?
I think that was when we were playing mini Interpol. And when we qualified now for the final, that is when the president of Fovo of Baham decided to come and watch the final. I came with a pair of boots. And that was just like a gift. Though I think he wanted to impress me. And that was the gift. And they gave me that pair of boots before the game. And that boot, they wanted me to wear on that final. And that is what I did. So I was very happy having a new boot on the final and so on. And that's how after the game, things went very, very fast, because the president saw me and he was also very interested. And that's how 2 days after I had to go to Douala and sign my contract with Fovo of Baham.
And here again, did they just take you for free?
No, I think that is when I started no football this morning, football, because I can remember if I have a good memory, I think I signed for Fovo of Baham for almost 500,000, and he decided he's going to sponsor me school, all my school needs and everything. He's going to do that. That's when he decided that he's going to be my sponsor, and that's how I had to stay.
So how was the journey? How was the journey to?
I had the allowance, the school allowance I have. Yeah, my first year was not easy because I went also with some other Southwesterner like Karawa Efficient, Ache Ebenezer, and Django. We went three of us, so I was not alone. Even though the language was not easy, but at least I had small courage because I was there with Karawa Efficient and Ache Ebenezer Django. So we're three of us. But the first year was very difficult for me and Django.
So how did you manage to fit yourself into the team now that you had all this difficulty?
Yeah, the first year, because the first year we were also, I and Efficient Karawa were also among the under 16 cadet, were with the cadet, national team cadet, I and Karawa. So we spent most of our time going to Yaoundé for games. So we came and the coach that was in Fuvo of Baham by then, he took him with his own players. I was, unfortunately, one of his players was playing the same position with me. So that made also things very, very difficult for me that first year. But I never stopped training. I continued training. I continued to do my best every day in the trainings until when the first round, they had to sack the coach because of poor record.
Results.
We were not winning games, so they had to sack the coach. Poor result. And then they sacked that coach the first round. At the end of the first round, the second round, it was our assistant coach who is a Ghanaian. He was the one now that lead the team, and that's when he started giving me confidence. I was very young by then, but he told me he's seen my potential. He knows what I can do. He gives me the confidence, and that is how I started playing during the second leg.
And you were playing during the second leg. Your time in Fovo, in fact, brought you to the limelight. What would you say were your achievements in Fovo of Baham?
I can say I had many good things. I had only good memories in Football Baham because when we came to Football Baham was a team that they always try not to drop. They were always at the last level. Our first year we did not drop just maybe the last two games. That's when we managed to survive for not dropping. And after that year, that's how we started going up. We're playing now the first position. And I think my stay in football it was very wonderful, which I never wanted to leave
Yeah, what would you
because
say
the
were your
president was just
achievements
like a
in
father to
Fovo of
me and
Baham?
was giving me everything.
Yes. What would you say were
Yeah,
your
I can say
achievements?
I achieved, I achieved nearly everything as a footballer because in football Bahama, I won the Cup of Cameroon. I was a man of the match of the Cup of Cameroon. I won best player twice in football Baham. We were champion with football Baham. So I did everything in football. That's where my career. I can say that's where I did my best career in football Baham. And I
When
had to
any
play football Baham for almost 6 years.
when any player gets to that top, Marcus, he wants to go further. Did you want at any time leave Fovo of Baham because you were already champion, you were leading player, and so on? Were you tempted to leave Fovo of Baham at any time?
Yeah, because my plan, because when I was in Football Baham, the president of Football Baham was just like a father to me. And he promised me he's going to do everything possible for me to play professional football. So when I was in Football Baham, I usually go for tests out of Cameroon. I remember when I was in Football Baham, I went to Auxerre, I also went to Grenoble. All those times I was in Football Baham. But things were not concluded, so I never wanted to stay in Europe without playing because my wish was to play professional football. So after I have to go back to Cameroon and continue with football Baham. And that's how I finally left football Baham
But
because
there was a
that year we're
time,
not champion. And I told the president I
yes.
want to be champion. I want to play.
But there was a time, Marcus, from Fovo of Baham, there was news that you were going to Cotton Sport of Garua. What happened?
Yes, I signed with Cotton Sport because when we were champion with football Baham, we qualified for the Champions League. And when I taste the Champions League, I saw that it was another level of football. I saw that it's another level of football, and that's when we knocked out of the Champions League with football Bahama, and I told my president, in fact, I've tasted the Champions League. I think I want to continue playing Champions League. And that year, unfortunately, football Baham did not top the league. It was Cotton Sport that topped the league. And I told my president I have to go to Cotton Sport Gagwa because I want to play the Champions League. My main aim was to play Champions League. It was not because I'm leaving football ban because I was not happy it was not more. It's because of money now. I never left football ban because of money because my time I was in football ban, the president gave me everything. Any amount I want to sign, he will give me. But I told him the simple reason why I want to go to Cotton Sport is because I want to play the Champions League. And since he never wanted me to leave Wolverhampton, he decided to send me out in Germany, of which I went to Werder of them, of which I stayed there almost for 6 months. I signed with Cotonsport of Gagwa. I went to visit the infrastructure of Cotonsport of Gagwa. I went there, I signed the amount that nobody up to today have ever signed. So at least I consider that was the highest signing fee ever in the history of football. And I did it, but it was not because of the money that made me to go to Cotonsport. It's simply because I wanted to play the Champions League. And that's why my president told me he wouldn't allow me. So he had to send me to Germany. And I stayed 5 months in Germany. And before coming back, Cotonsport was out of the Champions League. And that's why I decided that I'm not going to Cotonsport. I'm going back to Wolverhampton, because my aim of going to Cotonsport was to play the Champions League. So the president had to pay back my signing fee of Cotonsport of Gabon.
And at one time we heard that you were gone to Cameroon. How did that happen?
Yeah, it's when I came back from Germany. When I came back from Germany, it was remaining 6 months. And 6 months for the league, guys, they were going for the second round. I had to finish the second round with Wolverhampton. And me, the president paying back my contract from Cotonsport, he never knew I signed it for 1 year with Cotonsport. He thought that I signed the 2 years, but I signed my contract with Cotonsport was for 1 year. And when they gave me all that type of money, the president never believed it was 1 year contract. So that's why I came back from Germany. I had to go back to football because the president decided to pay back the signing fee of Cotonsport. And when he paid back, I went to football. I played the last 6 months, and that's when Canon now also qualified for Canon top the league. I told the president my aim is to play the Champions League. My aim is to play the Champions League. I'm no more interested with the national level.
Yes, and
that's how I had to move from Football Baham to Canon of Yaoundé.
You went to Canon of Yaoundé, you made your mark, and that is when even the name, Maradona became very, very prominent. How was your 1 year in Canon?
Yeah, it was wonderful because Canon, when I arrived Canon, that's when the whites from Belgium, they also came to sponsor Canon. At least in Canon, we had everything like professional club. And we always came to Belgium to do stash and do some preparation, play some friendly games. It was very wonderful in Canon. And I tried my best, of which that same year I won the best player award of the first division. And that's when I was also selected, also my first selection with the national team. Because from Canon, I finally go to the Olympic All African Games in Abuja, of which I was selected as the best player and the highest goal scorer. And that's when that's how the coach of the national first team had to convocate me for my first selection with the national team.